So Django is one of the framework for the web, and yeah, you need to understand how we can put the HTML in Django. So you already did your HTML assignment, and then yeah, we will also look at what are the basic templates in Django. So we need to understand how to create the web in Django, and especially we need to put the HTML. In Django, it is a framework and you need to create a folder, and when you already have your HTML, there will be question. How can you add your HTML file? So let's just use a very simple HTML tag at the first time. So let's create the Django project again. You can use the previous first Django project for the example, or yeah, you can create another one. So let me create a new project. So I'm going to close this one, and then, yeah. If this is your first time to do the Django project, maybe the environment will not be like this one. So if you already have a project, then you can see this is your project for Django. And now let's see, I want to create a new project, then you can go to new project. Okay, so you can go to new project, this one. So when you select the new project, in the left panel, you can see a lot of options. You can do with Django, you can create fast API, you can create Flash, Pyramid, Jupyter, DBT, and other. Okay. So other, you can see there are HTML5, Bootstrap, React Native, and so on. But we are focusing on Django, so we can click Django, and then you need to determine what is the project name. Okay. So you can just choose any project name for you. Let's say in the PowerPoint, I mentioned first Django because I already have the first Django in my computer. So I want to create another file. So I want to. So let's say maybe first Django 2. Okay, let me just select this one. And then you need to again check what are the Python environment you want to set up. So in this case, yeah, I have the custom environment because I'm going to use my Python in my computer. So if you don't use PyCharm, you need to make this project virtual environment. So when you create this project virtual environment, it is a little bit complicated. You need to do scripting, you need to set up the library and etc. So that's why with this PyCharm, it is easier. So you can just make the custom environment and then select what the Python file you refer to. In this case, I'm using the Anaconda that I installed in my computer. And for the advanced settings, so let's put this as the default. If everything is doing well, if there is no error, then you can create. So it takes some time to do the installation. So they need to set up everything. If everything has been set up, then you can run. Okay. And then you can see on the below part, you can see here, this is the information about your first Django. Okay. So you can see this is the Django when you run it, the manage.py migrate, and then this is the time, and then this is the Django version, and then this is the link. So the link means, yeah, you can just click. When you click this one, then it goes to the web browser. Then you can see that the Django, the first Django, now works well. Okay. This one, and then now when you do this at the first time, I need to explain what are the files. Okay. You can see the first part, okay, in the left panel, there are some files. For example, the init.py, asgi.py, setting.py, urls.py, wsgi.py, manage.py. So .py, I guess you know, this is Python file. And yeah, let's look at some details. Init.py. It is a constructor that will be blank in the first project. So whenever you create a new project, there will be a new file init.py. This will be blank. This is just for the constructor. asgi.py. ASGI refers to asynchronous server gateway interface. It is to connect to the other platform or server. So if you have interest on connecting your Django to another server, for example, you want to connect to Amazon, okay, then you need to look at the details on this code. Settings.py. So this is a file to manage the configuration of Django. So let's take a look. So asgi.py. Yeah, this is just to set up the environment. What are the web service or the server that you want to connect? We are going, I think I will not discuss in detail. The second one is settings. So in the settings, you can see, yeah, for example, in Django, you will see the secret key. So this secret key means every computer will have different secret key. My secret key will be different with your secret key. So it means it is for the security purpose. And so on. So we will also take a look how we can set up this setting for the web programming. The next is urls.py. It is a file to manage the URL. In the urls.py, so you can manage the link. So later we will learn how to manage the link to the server. The other file is wsgi.py. It is the web server gateway interface to connect to other platform. Yeah, so we have ASGI and we have WSGI. If you look at the ASGI and WSGI, so if you open this code, then I think the structure is the same with the ASGI, but the purpose will be different. So we will not discuss in detail about these two. And the last one is manage minutes.py. So minutes.py is the main function. In this minutes.py, it is the file you know Python. This is the main function. Main function means whenever you run Django, you will run this function. So this function will do the setting. Where is your Django environment? Where is your folder? And then it will run. If there is error, then it will go to the setting. So the settings, if you click this one, it is go to the setting here. So everything will be on the setting. For example, where is your folder? And then what are the database? So how can you do the validation with the password and etc. So they are all in the setting. And next, you need to understand the templates. So templates, it is the folder. So you can see here on the left panel, you have templates. So this is the folder where you put the HTML files. So today we are going to learn also about this stuff. And external libraries. So this is the Python interpreter. So in other platforms, you need to define the virtual environment. Because you're using Django, so you see here, the external libraries has been installed for you. So you don't need to install again for the Django. Your project will use this environment. Okay, so those things are the first part that you need to know about the files in Django. Okay, URL. Okay, so URL is URLs. URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator. So this is the file to manage the URL link, Uniform Resource Locator. Now, for the first example, let's create a new file. We call it fuse.py. So this fuse.py, you can put it into the folder first Django. So in the folder first Django, do the right click on your mouse, and then you can have a new file. So the new file, it can be main files. So please choose Python file and then type fuse.py. So here I will show you in this folder. Okay, this is the folder, my first Django, and then I will do the click here, right click on your mouse, and then you will see options. Now you can see there is a new on the first part. There are many files that you can create. You can create just a file. You can create scratch file. You can create directory. You can create Python packets. You can create Python file, Jupyter notebook, JavaScript, TypeScript, HTML, and so on. Okay. So we are going to make a new file, which is Python file. So let's click on the Python file, and then there will be some options. Whether it is a Python file, or it is a Python unit test, or is it a Python stub. Now let's just choose this Python file, and the file name is fuse. When you type fuse, then when you press enter, it will create a new file, and the file name is fuse.py. In the new fuse.py, let's type this one. I cannot enlarge the code. So this is the library that we are going to use. So we are using the Django.http, and it will give the response when you write something. In this case, we are making a function. I hope that you understand Python. So this is a function index, and there is one argument in the function. And we are going to return. So we call the function HTTP response, and what we are going to put on the HTTP is this one. Do you know what is it? Okay. In the HTML, we have P. P is the character. And then we want to write hello world. Okay. So with the HTTP response, we hope that we can write this one into the HTML file. So I think most of you use the newest version of Django. If you use the newest one, it means we use the Django 5.1. But I put this one if some of you use the previous version of Anaconda, or if you use the previous version of Django, there might be some difference. In the directory, you need to set up the newest version of Django will use this format. But if you use the previous version of Django, you need to use this format. It means you need to use plus. Okay. So in this case, we just use the slash. But if you're using the previous version of Django, you need to use plus instead of slash. So the templates mean this is the folder where you put your HTML file. Now, before we do the execution, we need to check in the URLs. It means it is to control the HTML file. You will see something like this one, but you need to update the code so that we have a link to our new file, which is fuse.py. Now let me show you. So you can just add the red color text into the code. So you can open the urls.py. You can see there is a code in outside, but it is comment. Comment means you need to run it. Now I put one more line, the code. So this is a code to say that I'm going to run the fuse.index. So what is fuse? This is the file name that we just created. If you see this red color, it means this is error. Why this is error? In Python, whenever you want to call another file, you need to import it. So you need to check. So I want to import any function from fuse.py. So you can see here, I want to import from import fuse. So it means I want to get the fuse.py in the same folder. So in the same folder means here. In the same folder, there is a fuse.py. So I want to import the views, and I'm going to use the fuse.index. So what is index? Index is the function name in the fuse.py. It means I want to call this function whenever I go to this link. So if I go to this link, let's run index. So let's try. After you have everything done, then let's do again with this link. And now you will get a new result. You will see in the left top, you can read hello. So if everything is fine, then you will see this result. Okay, till this part. Any problems? Please try first. Okay, these two lines, what does it mean by these two lines? The first is to import the views.py. Because you are creating a new file, views.py, then we want to import it. So this import will be from the zip folder. And this one means that when you go to this link, so what is this link? Blank. Okay, so if the link is blank, then it will connect to views.py. Okay, now let's see if I change a little bit. Now I want to put the link is home. Okay, so I want to put this home in the path. So if I put the home, when you run this one, then you can see nothing. But you need to put home in order to see the result. So it means this is the link name. Whenever you put the name inside the path, so it refers to something. Okay. So if you change this into, let's say, hub, okay, it's CFS. So the root will be the hub, and if you run this home, then it will be error. So you need to put the same name with your path. In this case, hub. Then you will see the result. Okay. So the path name will affect the URL. So this is the path. Okay. I think it's time for a break. Let's have a break. Okay, I will continue after the break.